Hey everyone, first things first, here you go. Let's have a discussion. This is number 8 in a series of 10. So after this one, there's only 2 more. Cheers. Good coffee. Well, today we're going to talk about how to organize your vehicle. Yeah, I know. A lot of you are already nomads. You've already got your vehicle totally organized. You know where things go. You've got things set up. But that's mostly due to you are living this lifestyle on purpose. Now, I'm seeing, oh my gosh, I'm seeing so many vehicles out here. Paul and I are just witnessing it one right after the other. And they're parked on streets. They're parked in parking lots. And it looks as though they threw everything that they owned inside and on top of their vehicle. And it's not an overly large vehicle in a lot of cases. So here's what I want to address right now. And don't discount if you think, well, I'm in a home and I don't have to deal with any of this. Well, it could come down to that. Now, the series is mostly about if there is a financial collapse coming, as a lot of people are forecasting right down the pike, and which will cause social unrest. And I'm not fear-mongering. It probably won't even happen. I hope it doesn't happen. And, most likely it probably won't, at least not right now. But humans tend to go on what has happened in the past, that they think that will continue on in that way, even though there are people saying there's something happening, there's a storm coming. We don't know if it's a storm, if it's a tornado, a hurricane, or just a little thunderstorm that's coming down the pike. We don't know. But to just assume that if it hasn't happened in a long time, it probably never will, might be false thinking, and that's happened in the past as far as humans go. Okay, so what I want to address are those who it possibly could happen and you don't foresee it. Oh my gosh, that would never be me. But what if you couldn't pay your rent? What if you couldn't pay your mortgage? What is going to happen? And then I want to address for all of you who know that it's about to happen and your only recourse is to live in your vehicle, or you're already in your vehicle and you're living in a heap of mess. It is one big chaos mess going on inside your ring. And I have seen it. There was a gal parked beside me not too long ago, 3 days ago, and she had no window coverings, and I looked in. And you could see, because, I've got the limo tinting up. So I was kind of like, I wonder what her story is. Even Paul talked about, what's her story? She seems like a middle-aged gal, solo, but it was just, I don't even know where she would have had room to lay down or sit inside of her car. Well, I thought maybe she's just traveling, she's moving on, and she has an apartment. She's going to go get another apartment. She just kind of threw what she could in to get going. Well, we've thus seen her a couple more times. So she is living in her van, and it's just so disorganized. But we're seeing this over and over and over and over. One thing I'm seeing is like there are containers, not like what do you call those? They're on top of your roof. They're long and I forget the name of them. Okay, this is improv. Okay, but these are just like containers and coolers, just bungeed. We saw one where they bungeed it all the way around the entire car, and it's sitting up there. Well, a lot of times, if it's on there that way, they can come off, which I find kind of dangerous. If I was on the highway and I saw some of these cars with the things on top of their roof, I would move around them, because they can come flying off, come smashing through your window, and I mean, not to be doomsday, but it could kill you. It come through and smash you and just break your neck. Okay, so I am going to address you if you're watching, and if you know somebody that's watching, or you know somebody that is living this way, or you have a relative who just moved into their vehicle because they couldn't pay the rent and nobody could really help them with it because everybody's kind of having a hard time right now. Gas prices are up, food prices are up, all that. Oy vey shmia. I also want to say, I've got my fan right down here. You can see my hair kind of blowing. And I also want to say thank you for spending time with me today. Okay, so how can you get organized if you're living in your vehicle right now and you've got things just thrown in and you have some extra cash on you? You need to go to Walmart and get some bins and invest in large garbage bags, but don't put everything in a garbage bag. It's really hard to find things in a garbage bag. But get those they're not gallon, what are they? They're like large, they're called large, the largest hefty baggies, Ziploc bags that you can buy. I forget the name of them, but they're for like things. They're really big. And you can put like, I use them a lot to put like hats in, scarves, just little I have a lot of it, but I need to organize it up so that it's just not willy-nilly inside of my bins. You could also use those large Ziploc bags and then put them in a larger garbage bag so that you can pull each one out at a time and say, oh, okay, this is what I need. It could be if you don't have like dressers going on. Dressers. I mean, what you could do is possibly just, use the garbage bag system for that. And they can, sometimes garbage bags can kind of fit into odd shaped cubbies. Yeah. So here's what I suggest for you is to go to a park. If you're living in this manner, go to a park and go to Walmart and pick up the supplies that you need, or the Dollar Tree store. Pick up the bins and things that you need to start putting things in so you can organize your space. Then go to a park and go through things. Nobody's going to care. When you're at Walmart, get a tarp. Buy the cheapest they have. The cheapest tarp that I bought recently was like $4.95. But it was just a medium grade one. It was blue and it wasn't huge. The really huge, heavy ones are starting to run in a lot of money. $13 to $20 for a large one. Yeah. So, cheers. So you need to get yourself organized up. Use the skills you learned in kindergarten. Categorization. We learn to categorize things. You want your clothes to be together. You want your underwear to be together in a baggie. And you can get different sizes of baggies. Get all three sizes. All four. Actually, get the sandwich ones, get the quart ones, get the gallon ones, and get the big tote ones. They're Ziploc, and they're about that big. I know you've seen, here's, oops. Oh, now I can't find it. Let me see. I've got my dressing in it. Okay, we'll get it. There we go. It's just they're hefty. They're jumbo. It's called jumbo. They're really huge. I think these are the quart ones, or the gallon. What is this one? It doesn't say. But yeah, I use baggies. Oh my gosh. And then you've got your sandwich size. I always keep these handy too. So yeah, get yourself some sizes and start categorizing everything. Well, one thing that's going to really help you out is to get all your seats out of your vehicle. If you know this is your lifestyle, get the seats out. Start getting them out. Even if you have to go, you can ask around for people. It's going to come down to we're all going to have to help each other. You can ask around. If you're parked like at a Walmart or something, I'm seeing more and more, even though they say no overnight parking, I'm seeing more and more people. I see them at night, and then when I come back in the morning, I see them there also. I don't park wherever they tell me that I can't do it, because I don't want to get that knock in the night. I don't like that. And then I have to get up. I'm groggy. I like to park where I know that I can park. But no officials are coming and obviously knocking on the window. They're there. You could go around and ask for advice. Don't be shy. You need to get those seats out if that's what you need. Unless you're using, it's a sedan, and you're using one for a bed. You're going to have to organize your trunk area and the floor area in the front and the back. Yeah. Just, if you're in like a Jeep kind of thing, a Ranger they're longer than a sedan. They almost look like a minivan, but they're not. They don't have the sliding doors. If you can get a minivan, oh my gosh, yes. I was asked recently on Minivan Lisa's Nomad Life Facebook group, and they said where vehicles are becoming so scarce and they're so expensive. Well, that might be true in a lot, but you can go on Craigslist and look in your area to see what they have. And go around the surrounding areas also. Maybe a relative can get you there if you see one to go look at it and get as much information as you can over the phone and go look at it. So if you have a bigger rig, fine. If you don't, we can make it work. Let's make this work. Let's talk about this. We got the baggy thing. You're going to want to get some bins. Now, if you're in a smaller vehicle, like I've got my bins right here, 1, 2, and then this is a really large one. Yeah. And then over here in the front, I've got my large bin, smaller one, and under that one, I've got like a blue one that's underneath. Let's get cozy here. What's it say? I'm feeling slothy today. I slept in, I know. I've been exercising really hard, but today I just wanted to get this video out for y'all. And I just want to kind of chill out a little bit. Let's get this right. Yeah. Got my lights going. So let's talk about getting yourself organized. If you're in a sedan or like a Ranger or something like that, you're going to need smaller bins because you're not going to be able to fit all these great big bins, especially if your seats are still in it. So you're going to have to use your own noggin to say, what can I get in there? But I'm telling you right now, you're going to have to get organized or you're just going to end up with one big mess. You're not even going to be able to think straight. And right now's the time when you want to be able to think straight. You're going to want maybe a small bin. You're going to want to carry your food products so they're just not flying all over the place. Especially if you have like a bag of open rice or something, dude, that thing could go crazy inside of your van. You don't want ants in your van. You don't want bugs in there. You don't want to be living in squalor. You don't want mold to start growing under things. You want to get yourself organized. And like I said, what I'm seeing is that almost wanted to go like, can I help you? Because I'm really good at organizing. I've done it, for clients, and I've helped people organize their homes. So it's real important to stay organized so you can think straight. Now, I mentioned that gal that was beside me, and she had no window coverings. I didn't see her go to bed. She was mainly in her front seat. But when I looked out in the morning, she was sort of waking up, and she had so much in her van. She obviously moved everything aside, and it sort of went up. There was no window coverings, but it sort of went up like this. She must have just pushed it up and against the other window. It was just junk. There were just things there. So she obviously had some sort of a bed going on in there, but well, you want to have a nice place to lay your head at night. You really do. You need that. You need some clean sheets. You need to have your laundry set apart for yourself. So it's going to come down to, I think this gal obviously had a build out because she had a bed right there. I could see. Unless it was just she put her back seat all the way down and she slept like that. That could be, because I didn't want to go ask her. She didn't seem like she wanted to be noticed, like she wanted people to kind of leave her alone. She didn't make eye contact or anything like that. which is kind of a shame because we all can kind of help each other, can't we? I remember asking Paul, I go, should I give her, because I have a couple books left over, How to Live in a Minivan, The Minivan Leeway. And I said, should I give her a book? He kind of laughed. He goes, maybe. But I didn't. But I also want to mention that that book is available on Amazon. And if you know somebody that's going to be losing their place, you might want to go on there and buy it for them, because I have list. So let me go into another scenario. Let's talk about another scenario. A lot of these people were obviously forced quickly into their vehicle. They did not prepare. A lot of us nomads out there, we prepared, didn't we? We have the things, and I'm going to go in a minute, I'm going to go into the gadgets that will really make it comfortable for all of you out there that are just scooting into your vehicles. But there's another group of people that it may happen to you. You may not be able to pay your rent. There's a lot of seniors that are out here sort of on purpose, but they had to on purpose because they can't afford their rent anymore. Rent's, going sky high. And there's a lot of us are on fixed income. A lot of us females out here are on fixed income. We didn't work as much, or we were homemakers. At my age, it was encouraged to be a homemaker. It wasn't so much encouraged to go to college. I do have my degree. I have 2 bachelor degrees, and I did it on my own. Once my kids were kind of mid-grown, I finished up my college degree. So, but I wasn't really encouraged as we were growing up, or as when I was growing up in my home. A lot of your homes you did, but in mine, it wasn't that way. I had one brother, and he was the one that was going to get the money to go to college, and he didn't even use it. He ended up going to college on his own either. He didn't even use what my parents saved up for him, so, yeah. Oh, well, they got off scot-free, didn't they? Yeah. Okay, so if there's any possibility, and how would you know if there's going to be a possibility? Unless you're uber wealthy, or you just feel like everything is okay and you don't feel the need. But there are people out there, I guarantee there's a whole group of people that you might, in the back of your mind, you might think, ooh, what if that happened? And if you can actually say, well, what if that happened? Then you know most likely there's that leaving that little bit of possibility that it could happen. I think it's a good idea to get yourself organized. Now, how are you going to do that if you don't have a minivan or you don't have that ready to go? Here's what I suggest for you, is go to Walmart and pick up some bins. Get some bins and start putting in your garage or wherever, or in your basement, or in a room that you dedicate for your things. Get your bins and start collecting things that you think you're going to need for the nomad life. That way you don't want to just throw your clothes in, grabbing clothes and throwing them into your van if you need to leave early. Wouldn't it be nice if you could just go like that and you're putting your bins in that you've already organized up in your garage or wherever? That would be great. So get some bins, get some baggies, all different sizes, and start categorizing some of the things that you think you will need. Even if it comes down to you need your things in your house, but you don't want to put them in your bins yet, get yourself a list. Get a list, put them in a bin, or tack it up on the room, on the wall, or in your garage. Tack up. These are the things that if I need to get out of here, that I need to go run and get. And say, like, Sean, go get that. Let's get this together. Let's get out of here. Let's go. And I've talked about scenarios. This is number 8. So there's been 7 videos previously talking about this. So I can just only relate that it could be a pandemic. It could be martial law. It could be an invasion, or it could be any number of things. It could be a fire. It could be a hurricane. It could be, it could be anything coming down the pike that you need to get out quickly. So don't discount. I'm just going to say, life is not perfect. I know a lot of people, I think people are done saying that, but people say, this is America. How could this happen? I think we know different now, don't we? I haven't heard too many people say that anymore, like, well, this is America. How could this? No, things can happen here just the same as any place else. And it's not a perfect world. The weather can change quickly. Governments can change quickly. I will mention that some people have mentioned, why are you getting political? I promise this is not political. This is world stuff. This is the world and the climate that I'm feeling with gas prices going up, things like that. So I promise I'm not getting political. I'm not shooting for any political party. I think all the political parties are pretty... they're pretty rotten. I really do. You know, they're kind of rotten to the core. So, and we're out here living it. The nomads out here that are already out here, a lot of us are seniors, and we're living it out here. We're dealing with the gas prices. We're dealing with the fuel prices. We're dealing with the climate out here, seeing more and more people floating around with these rigs that look like they're just about to fall apart. You see a lot more homeless people. You have to protect yourself a little bit more out here. This is why I'm doing the series. But if you think that there's even a little bit of a chance, even an iota, it's like, well, what if I did lose my home? What if I couldn't get, inflation was so high, I couldn't pay for this? What if the government took it away from me? Whoever is in power, what if they took it away from me? You know, they can do that. What if the banks closed down and there was a run on the banks and I couldn't get my money? Well, I say, this is why I'm doing the series. I say prepare just a little bit. And I do think that's a good idea to get some bins, put them somewhere safe, and even if you need to like put some things in it. So let's go ahead and talk about how to do it comfortably if you have to do it. Now, if you have a large family that you have to put in, wow, I don't know how many people have really large families anymore. A few. Your best bet is going to be a schoolie for sure. But let's say you're a 2-car family and you've got 3 children. Well, Dad's going to have to drive one of the cars and Mom's going to have to drive the other, and who's ever got the bigger car will take 2, the other one take 1. How's that? I mean, you can work this out. Everything is possible. So how can you do this comfortably? Well, one thing is there are going to be some gadgets that I'm going to mention that really do need to be there. This is a butane stove. I know, I don't think this is your first rodeo seeing my videos, but it's a stove in there. And it uses butane, but this is a dual stove, and it also can use propane. So if you think that there might be a problem, I would start stocking up on butane, cans of butane, and propane. You know what those little green things of propane are, but this is the butane. It fits in there very nicely. Yes. Now, if for some reason trucks start supplying our products because diesel's so high, it's just a scenario. It's probably not going to ever happen. But what I did was I bought, this is a portable kettle. Yes. It's a portable kettle. I can heat water in here for tea or coffee or whatever. Yeah. It's got, you can read the instructions on how to do it. And it's got this, and there's a plug that goes in here. Now, how would I even use this? Why would I even want to use this if it's going to take power? Well, what you also need, and I'm serious, if there's any way, let me turn this on. If there's any way that you can get your hands on a nice Jackery, I wouldn't go less than $500. These are about $499. If you have any cash in the bank, get this. Electric, USB, 12 volt. Yeah. And what I did also, I can't show you my solar panel because it's on top of my roof. But get yourself a solar panel, even if it's a portable one. Let me get my plugs in here. There we go. get yourself a portable one, or I have videos on how to get solar on top of your roof so that you don't have to sit out and babysit it at a park to power up your power bank. But I'll give you the link for my how to put the solar up on top of your roof. Easy peasy. You don't have to drill holes, and it works. So that you can power up your power bank, and I'll give you what you need for that. It's an investment, but if you want to get ready for it, then get ready for it. You know, anything can go down. Now, if you love your coffee like I do, and most of us do, you want to have your coffee things. What I use is to make coffee. You can go with instant, but it's a cone of a screen, and it comes in a carafe. There you go. So I can make my coffee. Have you nice enough? Have you Walmart, $4? Yeah. Now, if you just want to heat up water on your stove, $3-4. Easy. Stainless steel. Yeah. There are so many things you can get. Start getting them now. Start organizing yourself now. Oops. You need a nice water spray bottle. Vinegar will clean up, but let's kind of stick with some gadgets here. You got your power station and you got your solar stations. You got your stove. You got a way to, if you do have a good power bank, you got a way to heat up some water. You need a fan. Woo! Look like one of those commercials, right? That they used to do in the 60s with, she's running, her hair is being blown. You need a fan, a USB fan. You don't have to get one with the battery in it. I don't even recommend them because the battery never holds. If you need a fan on you all night because it's hot out, it's summer, it's going to stop on you and you're going to have to plug it in anyways. Why pay for a battery that isn't all that great? So I just get its USB. In order to use it, you have to plug it into your power bank. Yeah. Medium, off, high. There we go. But there are these gadgets. You want a chair that you can sit outside when you're at a park. You don't have to go out boondocking when you move into your vehicle. You can stay right in your city and you find a place to park. Ask them at Walmart if you can park there overnight. Or you can just park along the street. As long as you're not messing, you don't have like 1,000 coolers on top of your roof. You can park on the street, and then during the day go to a park. And I think that's what's going on is people are going to parks. But it's nice to have a chair, isn't it? Yeah, have a chair. Get yourself a tarp so you can lay something down so you can organize your things. What else did I have down? You had the heating, the cooling. For heating, I use if it's in the winter, I use a buddy heater, Mr. Buddy heater. I think, yeah, Mr. Buddy heater. It's going to take the green propanes, yeah. Also, I just think it's a good idea during these times to have your Bible with you. Some reading material, but the Bible is really good. If you're not a Christian or Judeo, Jewish, you're not going to want to have your Bible, your Torah with you. But if you are, have yourself a Bible. Whether it is, have your reading material on your phone. Yeah. And you can do audiobooks too. So you can start getting what you think you would need. How about like a hobby during the day? You want to have maybe something, keep it small, but whether you draw or you knit or you make jewelry or something like that, have those with you. You also want a collapsible bucket so you can wash up. So you want a towel, wash rag. What I use to wash up is tea tree oil, so you can have that. Down here, let's see, down here I have alcohol, mouthwash, my tea tree oil, put a few drops in. What I have it as a collapsible bucket, and it opens up, and then you can smash it back down for the purposes of storage. I have my face stuff, so you can organize yourself up. Here's some food in here, dressings. In here's like some tuna, some packet stuff, coffee. vitamins and spices down here, cans of food, dishes. You want to have, you don't have to have a lot of dishes. If you're really going to move from your house to your apartment to your vehicle, it's shocking how little you need and how much you're going to need to give away. You can get a storage and put it in there. That might be an option if you don't mind paying a storage unit every month. Probably cheaper than your rent. Even if you got a medium-sized one, they can run anywhere from $75 to a couple $100 a month. If you can afford that and you don't want to get rid of everything until you decide what you need to get rid of, which is kind of what I did, I only paid $50, you can do that. And and here is just like some essential, like I keep things like my wash rags in there, my nail clippers, things like that I don't need to keep down there. So, I hope that you find this interesting and it makes you think. If you are out there and you're not organized, I would do it so that you can think straight. You might need to find things quickly and you won't be able to find them if you're just dealing with debris and mess and just moving clothes over and things are falling all over. Yeah, I carry a good knife with me and I had these things handy. I'm very organized. My scissors are right here. I use these a lot, so I know that they're right there. You also need a flashlight. Let's see. Where's the flashlight? Woo. Yeah, I keep mine hung up there. You need to have a flashlight at night. There's a lot of things that you really need. I'm not going to every little thing, but I will tell you that what I've mentioned are the main gadgets to live a comfortable life inside of your vehicle. I'm going to, again, encourage you to go on Amazon. Just type in Minivan Lee. My book will come up. How to live in a minivan. But it's not just minivans. There's a lot of lists to get you organized up. And it's for SUVs or high tops or, any size of a vehicle. So, well, next I do want to show you, because there's one more thing that you might want to carry with you is a tent. And I want to show you, this is CAMPPros. I did another review of one of their tents. I think this one was a 10-person tent. It was fun. My daughter and Paul put it up, and I kind of helped too, but it was mainly those two. Well, when I was in Cheyenne, CAMPPros wanted me to review another tent. So we picked an 8-person tent. And we did it all. I had it sent to Cheyenne. And so Glenna and Dennis and Paul. And I kind of make cameos inside of there, inside the video that we did of it. And I just want to show it to you. CAMPPros are really good tents. There was excessive wind going on during the put up of this tent. And which he showed it to me later. I didn't get it from him. But it had pretty much, the wind in Cheyenne in Wyoming is huge. And it had knocked the tent over. As the wind's coming, it was up, but the front was, yeah. It didn't break it. The poles withstood. It didn't break the poles. It withstood the wind, but it would have been almost impossible to use it in that windy of an environment. But it is a good tent, and you'll see that Paul could stand up in it. And so I think CAMPPros is a good brand of a tent. I personally, Paul and I use a Kodiak tent. For really high winds, you really have to have a superior tent that can withstand that kind of wind. CAMPPros, it would be a really good idea for you to put up a tent if you need to reserve a spot. If you're out boondocking, you have to go out there and kind of live maybe out in the forest, whatever you're doing out there, be good to have a tent. So I thought I would put the review and the video of this tent going up right here. So I hope you enjoy that.
Round fan, you can sit it right there and have it blow
Right.
down. And then there's a hook right here. to hang like a lantern and kind of a light.
Looks like CAMPPros makes good tents.
Yeah. And then some storage pockets on either side. And I forget what the dimensions of this was.
This is an 8-person.
I got these gloves on, Dennis. Can you get that unknotted?
Not bad.
Now, I really appreciate all of you being with me during this series. I know some of you weren't too happy about me keep talking about this, but I wanted to finish it up because there's things to talk about. And one of the reasons I do not believe it's doom and gloom at all, I think it's actually encouraging and it's actually positive because we're trying to, for whatever system or scenario that could go down, this is applicable. And I also wanted to help out for all of the senior nomads out here who don't have the same resources that a lot of other nomads do or other seniors. There's a lot of females on fixed incomes out here, and a lot of guys too, not just females, but guys too. And I want to address this as if there's any way that I can help to kind of alert them to what might be down the pike, what could happen, to be just a little bit prepared. As far as food goes, I mentioned, I believe in my last video, it's impossible in this limited space to start storing up a lot of food. So it might be wise maybe to get a fishing pole, maybe start learning to fish, learning to trap. I don't know what the answer is, and sometimes I think, well, I don't know if that's the answer, but for some of you it might be. You might be in an environment where you could trap or hunt and you could fish, even if you've never done it before. So don't discount getting equipment for that. But just storing up a lot of food is just not going to happen. Not in your rig, unless you're in a Class A or something like that. You can store a lot of food, but yeah. So I hope you've enjoyed this series. Please subscribe and buy the book, How to Live in a Minivan. Buy it for a friend. Buy it for somebody younger who you think that they might be on the edge and they need to maybe get into a vehicle. Help them out. Let's help out our relatives and our friends and our neighbors. And I think that's pretty much it. I love you guys a lot. After this, there'll be 2 more. And then we'll move on to something else, okay? You can leave suggestions on what you'd like to see beyond this series. I love you. Bye.